Merry Christmas to everyone. We're posting this video on Christmas Day. It's also recording on our live show on the 23rd. But Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, there's two of us, host and producer on the show right now. I'm celebrating Christmas. Jeremy, you had your Christmas already. He's a Hanukkah guy. But happy holidays to you, whatever. Christmas Day, enjoy it. Do your thing. See your family. Happy Merry Christmas to everyone watching this on Christmas Day. Appreciate you, and really appreciate you watching the show and following this program and what the show has going on over the past few years. A to Z Network, Media Network says, Michigan, love the show. Would love you on my channel for discussion. How does Andrell Anthony impact this game? He is sneaky good. A to Z Media Network, hit me in a DM on Twitter if we can make it work before the game. I'll be in office next week, so I'm sure we can find some time. I can come on. Andrell Anthony, it's an interesting one. I think he's going to be a starter next year, but they pulled him out as a secret weapon against Michigan State. Much like Donovan Edwards was against Maryland, a secret weapon. Much how, several guys, Blake Corum was kind of a secret weapon against Washington. They used him more than normal. So he can make an impact, but he hasn't made one in the last few games, so I'm not counting on him. I think Roman Wilson, Mike Sainristil, A.J. Henning, we've seen from those guys in the past few games. I think Michigan's going to stick to that from the receiving game. But if Andrell Anthony does make a big play, it's going to catch Georgia by surprise, and we saw it during the Michigan State game. He certainly has the ability to do that. Has anyone from U of M had COVID-19 this week? Not to my knowledge, but I'm hoping they're not testing, right? I don't want to go political on here, all right? Last March, everyone was compliant, or we're all in it together. People were staying home, socially distancing for most of the next year. But I think once people realized that, it was if you can get a vaccine, if you can get boosters, if you want to do that, or that, hey, I got COVID and it wasn't as serious, etc. I'm healthy. These are all college athletes. They've all got the vaccine at least 4 or 5 months ago at this point. They've all got the booster shot. I don't think there's any reason they should be getting tested, personally. And if Michigan's not testing him, I think that's the right move, because this latest variant has proven to be wildly less deadly, less impactful, doesn't make you as sick. From everything I've read, and I've read as much as I can to try and be informed on this stuff, COVID's a real thing. Plenty of people died, and that's a terrible thing. But this latest variation is much more... What's the word? It's more contagious. It spreads faster. But from what we've seen so far, all the data coming in from 3-4 weeks from South Africa and Israel and Great Britain says it is much less deadly. It's much less get people less sick. And so I think Michigan should not be testing. But as far as we know, no one has tested for COVID, and Michigan's taking protocols. They're putting all their players. They're in the hotels right now. They're isolating, and they're traveling as a team on Saturday down to Miami. They're going to be practicing, kind of living in a bubble the entire next week. Josh Sherwood, Jeremy Sherwood. Yeah, we got a joke about the word Sherwood. Not with you, Josh, but we just played a joke on one of our guys a couple times with the word Sherwood, because, you sure would. Any players sitting out for the playoffs for Michigan? No, they're not. Even the guys who are going to transfer, we talked about a few transfers on the video that we started the live show with that's going out Thursday afternoon, is that Michigan will have all their players fully healthy as far as we know as of right now. There's 1 or 2 players that are kind of nursing something, but we do expect to play. Ohio, go blue, baby. Hey, look, if you're in Ohio, it's where I grew up as well. If you're rooting for Michigan, you are a smart person. I heard that Blake Corum, and this is the question that we saw earlier we wanted to address, so thanks to Ohio Go Blue Baby for bringing it up. I've heard that Blake Corum is not totally healthy. Any update on his status for this week? There's an update, right? He's been hurt for a while, and he sat out 2 games, but he injured, if we recall back. Let's take a march down memory lane. Blake Corum injured, he got a high ankle sprain in the first quarter. We tossed this up on the screen, Jeremy, this graphic here. All right, cool. Jeremy just made this graphic. He's injured in the first quarter against Indiana on November 6th. All right, so basically played 2-3 plays against Indiana. So let's just think about October 30th, Michigan State game. Since then, he played 2-3 snaps, whatever it was, against Indiana, and got hurt. Didn't play the rest of that game. Missed the next 2 games, Penn State, Maryland. He traveled against Maryland, didn't get in the game, didn't play. Comes back with a fury against Ohio State, but didn't really have a ton of plays or ton of impact. Had that long run kind of to start the second half for Michigan. I think he had 2 carries in that first drive of the second half. Only 12 carries since the Michigan State game for Blake Corum, which is wild to think about. High ankle sprain, was still nursing it. Apparently kind of tweaked it against Iowa from what we're hearing, but is back to near healthy, and we expect him to be playing and be as effective as he was in the beginning of the year, where he was breaking off 100, 150-yard games and 1, 2, 3 touchdowns every single game. All right, go ahead and type Go Blue if you're a Michigan fan in the comments. We've had the live show has been infiltrated by Georgia fans, infiltrated by Alabama fans. So I want to see how long y'all have been, how many Michigan fans we have on the show. If you're a Georgia fan, if you type Go Dogs now, I will delete you from YouTube. I have that power. Got Sam Webb deleted off YouTube. I will delete you off YouTube, as about 275 people are watching this video. 125 people have liked the video as well, so make sure you like it. Type Go Blue. Let me give 3-4 shout-outs here from the Go Blues. Mike Knapp, Bohannon 94, JJ Metz, onescoopjohn, Mitch, Mike Layton, Blake Serafini, and IwTp Gaming. Denver Toner gives me a Go Blue, and Mulik 34. So a lot of Go Blues. If you're watching this later, go down in the comments, type Go Blue. Super chat coming in from Captain Nemo. That deserves a beer cheers. With the whistle here, Jimmy. We've been live for 63 minutes. You know, it's a lot of talking I do. Do you think NIL, if the NIL applied to Ojabo, he may have come back? So if you haven't seen, we talked about it a few days ago, David Ojabo said, hey, I'm not allowed legally to make any NIL money. And people are trying to say, Michigan's at fault here. The Big Ten's at fault. It's the United States government, folks. It's immigration policy for work visa versus student visa. It's ridiculous. If you are an athlete and you're a scholarship athlete, you should have every right to have name, image, and likeness money like any other player. I think it needs to change. I think Joe Biden, whether you're a fan or not, somebody should talk to him and just say, Joe, this is really stupid, and get it changed. So I don't think he would have come back, no, because, look, name, image, and likeness sounds good. And to a high school kid, $50,000. That sounds like a lot of money to anybody, right? But for a guy who's a game or two away from the NFL, $50,000, that's like a day's pay, right? And so I don't think it would. If he's a top 10 pick, a top first-round pick, he should definitely go. His family is, gone from Africa to Scotland to the United States to New Jersey to the state of Michigan. They, if they can get money, that'll change everything they have going on for generations. Go get the money, David Ojabo. I don't think name, image, and likeness and the outdated, immigration/visa laws had anything really to do with it. IwTp Gaming, do you think Hutchinson still goes number 1 in the draft with the Jags taking the first pick? Yeah. There was some talk a few weeks ago that the Lions had, really keyed in on Thibodeau from Oregon if they have the number 1 pick, but the Jags seem to have it locked up, and I do think they will take Aidan Hutchinson to kind of be the star, the future of the defense. Outside, on the other side of it, it's Trevor Lawrence. I think they're going to go with Hutchinson. Every single mock draft I have seen, from Mel Kiper to Tom Downey to who's the other guy? Todd. What's his name? Todd McShay. To Pro Football Focus, to CBS Sports, to Bleacher Report, like they know anything. Has had Aidan Hutchinson the last 3 weeks. Every single one is Hutchinson, and I think there's some validity to that. Texas Go Blue A. Is it AI or is it Al? I think is it Al? Okay. Michigan. I live in Dallas. Can I come be your co-host? Well, listen, Al, it's an interesting question. If you live in Dallas, Chat Sports, our studio here downtown, we're broadcasting about 26 shows from our studio here. Maybe, right? If I can verify you're not creepy and you're a Michigan fan and you're frequent, and you want to come in and chug a beer and take a couple questions one time, hit me on Twitter. It's at James Jordan. Hit me in the DMs, Texas Go Blue Al. Let me know, and we'll see if we can get you down to the studio sometime, whether it's next week, which is probably unlikely because of a lot of people on holiday, but maybe once we get into the offseason. If you guys haven't yet, get going with our partner, BetUS. We've got the jersey promotion going on, but to get going with our sportsbook partner, you got to use that link at the bottom of the screen, chatsports.com/GoBlue, 125% deposit bonus. Don't just go type in BetUS into your search bar. Use that link. It'll redirect you to the promotion page. Sign up and make your first deposit. 125% deposit bonus when you use the promo code GoBlue, no spaces, and once you do, you make your first deposit, make a bet, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We will send you a Michigan football Jordan brand jersey, folks, jersey@chatsports.com to redeem. So you get 125% deposit bonus and a Michigan football jersey. We'll run this promotion until the Michigan-Georgia game kickoff it ends, so as long as you get started before then, make your first bet. You got to put in at least $100 to qualify, and please use chatsports.com/goblue as your link so you can land on the promotions page so we don't have to like track all this stuff down. It becomes a customer service headache for us, for BetUS, for you, so just use the link. We'll have your account information ready. You can verify and get that jersey shipped off to you, but you got to email jersey@chatsports.com to redeem the jersey. Do you see us making use of the passing game more like we did in the MSU game? I think that it'll be more like the Iowa game from what I can kind of tell, is that Michigan will pick and choose where they pass the ball. But this game, Georgia is much like Ohio State, and they have better – this is going to be the second team this year that Michigan is at a talent disadvantage. And to take advantage of that talent disadvantage, I think Michigan needs to out-physical, out-tough, out-scheme Georgia in a lot of ways, especially that Georgia front seven, which is possibly the best in the country. They have just some game-breaking players. They probably have 3 or 4 guys, whether it's next year or years down the line, that'll be first-round draft picks in their defensive line and linebackers. So I think Michigan will throw the ball when needed, will take their shots downfield, will probably use guys like Diamond Edwards when you're least expecting it, maybe do a seam to Eric All when you're least expecting it, but I don't expect Cade McNamara to throw for 383 yards like he did against Michigan State. I think, if anything, Michigan runs for 300 yards against Georgia if they can impose their will and keep it going into the second half and just kind of break down Georgia like they did Ohio State. One Scoop John. What if One Scoop John like owns a Baskin Robbins or something like that? What's the reason for the name One Scoop? I'd like to know. Wake up One Scoop. How many snaps will JJ get? I'm going with 8, right? 8 snaps for the game is where I think he is. Unless Michigan's losing. If they're down by 14 points, 21 points, which I don't think they will be, but if they were, I could see they've given him an entire series in the third quarter. And if he scores a touchdown, you keep him in for the rest of the game, or until he does something that proves that he shouldn't be in the game, is what the takeaway I have. But 8 snaps, what feels right, 2 to 3 per quarter, and I think they will be impactful snaps that will keep the defense on their toes and will allow Michigan to not have this Georgia defense just tee off in the running game, tee off on Cade McNamara. Updated subscriber number 18,185 as of our live show here on Thursday. Trying to get to 19,000. Got a year-end goal, 19,000 before kickoff on December 31st. So that's about 815 in the next 8 days. So we need about 100 a day here, Jeremy. So please subscribe if you haven't. If you're watching this live, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching it on demand, we'll put these out. These on demand, we'll kind of cut these videos up, put them on the channel throughout Christmas weekend. If you're watching it there, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Send it to a friend if you enjoy the show. Next question up from NS. I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about Ronnie Bell coming back for the playoff, given how long ago the injury was. Look, it was an ACL injury. He looks like he's healthy. He's walking around and stuff like that, but it's less than 4 months away, right? That injury happened on, September 4th, whatever it was. So we're still talking about just over 3.5 months for an ACL injury. I don't think there's anything, any valor, any reason. Michigan has plenty of wide receivers that have proven they can make plays at times this year to rush him back. But look, he wouldn't give up a year of eligibility. So if Michigan's winning, right? I don't know. If they get the national title game, put him in uniform and say, hey, if we are down in the fourth quarter, give Ronnie Bell a snap. Make him feel part of this national championship season, which he absolutely is from a leadership perspective. But I don't think they should put him in there in any meaningful way. Branden Taylor says, can we attack that Georgia secondary? Not in the way we did Michigan State, right? Cade McNamara, 383 yards against a terrible Michigan State secondary. Alabama proved it can be done. They have the Heisman Trophy winner. Cade McNamara is not to that level yet. They've got a couple first-round wide receivers at Alabama, Jamison Williams and John Mechie, who unfortunately got hurt in that game. Michigan doesn't have those kind of wide receivers yet. Roman Wilson has turned into a nice player, but they aren't the talented guys that Alabama has. And I think Michigan would be going against what got them here if they decide to attack the Georgia secondary. They did that against Michigan State because Michigan State had a wildly terrible secondary that everyone exposed this year. Georgia's not that. I think Michigan's to stick to the bread and butter, which is the running game and passing in strategic fashion. Treyce Rollins says, do you think Darius Clemons could make an instant impact next year with his size and speed? Top 100 wide receiver out of the state of Oregon, one of Michigan's best recruits this year. I don't know, right? I mean, I'm not going to try and BS it around, beat around the bush or BS you. I haven't really got a gauge of what he looks like against college football competition because he hasn't played against them yet. There's a lot of recruits that look like they're big-time players, then they get on field. What's the guy's name we just talked about who I'm just escaping? Christian Dixon, right? Bigger-time recruit, not as highly ranked as Darius Clemons, but he didn't get on the field at all, and a lot of people are talking he's going to transfer after 1 year at Michigan. So Michigan's going to have a lot of wide receiver talent next year. Dalen Baldwin could come back. Obviously, Ronnie Bell, Andrell Anthony, Mike Sainristil, Roman Wilson. So to see a true freshman get on the field and be a majorly impactful player, I doubt it happens, but he could potentially get in the 2 deep, get 5-10 snaps a game.